Yeah. So, like I said before, uh, I try not to get too involved in the political side of football in this case. But then again, sometimes these things are unavoidable. You would have to, at some point, speak on this, which is the irony of the sports. Now, obviously, unless you're living under a rock, we all know what's happening in terms of global politics between the US and Iran, as usual. And due to, or in light of recent events, the Iranian national team is most likely not going to feature at this World Cup, despite the fact that they did qualify for this one in this case. And obviously, there is the arguments out there which suggest that the US should be banned, should not be banned. Again, I'm trying not to get into too much into the political side of the game in this case. Now, the question remains: who would actually take Iran's place if this is true, and if they do decide to pull out of this, or essentially of their World Cup group, which would mean effectively they will be out of the World Cup. Um, Obviously, some would argue that it would have to be a country from the Asian Confederation, since Iran qualified from that confederation. I haven't actually looked deeper into FIFA's laws and guidelines and regulations regarding this issue because I think the only time that this has actually happened was during the World Cups before 1954. So I read somewhere that the 1950 World Cup, um, I think one country actually put out put out of put out of the World Cup for that one. And obviously you had the ones from 1938 also, the 1934 World Cup as well, where several countries chose not to participate in that one too, and also the 1930 World Cup too as well, which was the first World Cup. And obviously there were some countries that were unable to qualify to participate in that World Cup, despite the fact that they did qualify for that one. But that one was mainly due to logistical issues. 'Cause back then, traveling between continents to play a World Cup was an issue, which would explain why certain countries like Egypt were not able to play in the first ever World Cup back in 1930. Then you'd also have to look at the issue of countries that have played in the World Cup but then have also been banned as a result of political conflicts taking place. Obviously, there's Russia, which we all know the issue with Russia, and there's Israel as well. Again, I'm trying to the best of my ability not to bring too much politics into this. And yeah, there's the topic of the US as well and how people view their actions with regards to this. So yeah, in terms of which country places Iran or Iran to some people, from what I've actually heard, based on the the rumor that's going around, um, if it's not an Asian country, which I do believe is still going to be an Asian country, which will replace them. And there is still the question of Nigeria in this case, because the Super Eagles have a petition which is being ignored right now. Uh, and just to put this out, I'm not Nigerian. For anyone who sees this, so if you're Nigerian, if you are a Nigerian watching this, I sympathize with you guys. But and you do have a fair point in terms of like your arguments, but also you have to understand that FIFA rules are different to the national rules of a country. FIFA has to be neutral when applying its laws, its football laws, um, compared to applying the laws of a country to the game of football in this case. So I still hold firm to the fact that it's most likely going to be an Asian country that would represent, that would replace the national team for Iran in this case. Um, so you're looking at your Iraqs or again your Iraqs, so your Americans again, and Canadians, or possibly any other team that actually came close from that side of qualification. You know, one of the runner up teams to replace the Iranian national team in that slot of the group stage. But if that's not the case, and FIFA chooses to choose someone outside of the Asian Confederation, so this is where you look at the other confederations, and this is where the Nigerian argument comes back into play. Then in that case, it's still there's still a chance that you might see Nigeria coming into play, but it's a slim chance in this instance. So yeah, on the whole, it is sad news because I was expecting Iran to participate in this World Cup as well. But yeah, um, there's just not a lot of good signs in connection to this year's World Cup, and I'm just wondering right now what will come next. Hopefully, this is just a slight technicality, and hopefully they choose not to withdraw. If they do withdraw, then my stance still remains the same. I still think that it's most likely going to be um you will most likely see an Asian country come to replace them. But then again, I still won't rule out the fact that another country from another confederation could also come in to play in this one too as well.